And the winner is Anthonie Tonnon.
Oh, well. Kia ora tātou. I want to say what a privilege it is to be here amongst you and my community, our peers, our humble industry association, IMNZ, and my fellow nominees, whose albums are all incredible this year. All of them I've spent a lot of time with before this, and just seeing them again in there, it's a hell of a lineup. I've cried in the supermarket to some of the songs. It tends to be where I listen to music at the moment. But I've been thinking about green rooms lately. I grew up a shy kid, and like many of us performers, and I'm sure like many of us, I have my moments of imposter syndrome. I've been lucky in the last little while to do some shows with a bigger team than I've done before, and I've been reminded about how thrilling and affirming it is to be in the green room with other musicians and people in the music industry, production people, sound people, lighting engineers, to share that green room, that space, to share kai, to share the rider. And there is something very affirming about that, to be among our peers in that space. Leave Love Out of this is a testament, I think, to the value of working with people over a very long period of time. And even though we all change and we get our own projects and we have our own directions we're going in, to trust that our shared experience and the fact that we have traveled and walked long journeys together will mean that we can start where we left off and walk a little further this time. And so I want to thank my band members that I've been working with and walking with for a long time. Stuart Harwood on drums, David Flyager on bass, who played on this record. Also our new members but very old friends, Samuel Taylor on guitar, Brooke Singer on keyboards, who've brought such new life to this music. I'd like to thank my live sound engineer, Malcolm Ibell, who's given me so much wisdom, particularly in the later process of making this record. Love to thank our session musicians who gave short but powerful doses of their talent and skill to this record. Charmian Key, Tristan Deck, Anna Coddington, Nick Dowell, Nathan Pickney, Kathleen Tomacruz, Nadia Reid, Elizabeth Stokes, and my old friend and our great string arranger, Matthew Bodman. I have had a long and rewarding collaboration with my visual designer, my visual collaborator, Daniel Alexander. He does more than just create the artwork for the album. When the album's not finished, I'm on the phone with Daniel for long periods of time talking about what this album is going to mean, and his input or his criticism that I might be getting a little bit too into the ideas before the album's finished. It helps finish the album. And I've had a long and really fulfilling collaboration with the person who has written, played, and produced on this album. Friends, the great Jonathan Pierce. I also want to take a moment to thank some of our team who have made this album exist. To Nadia Reid and Angus McBride and Andy Moss at Slow Time Records. To the great team at Rhythm Method, to Jeff Bedden at Misera, to Darren Hanlon at Flippin' Year. I'd like to give a really special thanks to someone who's here tonight, to Emily Crowther, who early in the process of this album, Emily helped me to make my career sustainable so that I could make this album. And it was mostly through helping me to, probably for the first time in my career, properly talk to my audience and understand them and get to know them. I want to give a big thank you to my friend and booking agent, Ruben Bonner, and to Caitlin and Ella, who are here from Banished Music. My thanks to Sarah Illingworth, who's here and helped tell the story about this music. There are many other indispensable people, Rowan Hill and Ian Jorgensen, for bringing the Deluge instrument into my life, inventing it in New Zealand. To Emma Neal, who edited the first drafts of the lyrics. To John Baker, who told me how to fight to make vinyl records. To Bob Frisbee, who has always given his time and his thoughts on my music. And of course, my mum and dad, my whānau, my friends, my peers, and my many teachers from Otipoti, Dunedin. And the people and places that this album belongs to, Tāmaki Makaurau and Whanganui. But none of this would be possible if it wasn't for my wife, Kalia Smith. She met me as an idealistic bartender at Golden Dawn. She gave me some better clothes, and she took me to fashion shows, which, to her horror, she found I love even more than she does. But she supported me. She supported me to create this career, however long it was going to take. And she always encouraged me that I should be the thing I wanted to be, and that I knew I was. That said, public transport wasn't part of the deal. It came along a little later. And, in the last stages of this album, I've started doing things in the real world. And it's been quite exciting because it feels like my work in public transport has come from the same toolkit, from the same heart as this album has come from. And I've been thinking about this. Sometimes in our group, one of us will give a decade to music, and they'll come out and it'll be time they need a good job for whatever reason. And they'll go to find a good job, but they can't get one because they don't have a long list of all the jobs they've done over the last 10 years. And that's a loss for everyone, because to make albums, like the albums we celebrate tonight, it takes someone to see something great that needs to exist, to build a team, and to use whatever resources are available to make that thing exist without really a thought for who or how many people will value that thing once it does exist. And we're in a time where, as a society, we need to build some stuff. But we're not starting, and I think part of the reason we haven't started is that we're waiting for assurance. We want to be totally sure that the world is demanding the world that we're going to build. But nobody knew they needed a great album like Proud until somebody made that album without thinking about the reception until later. The old way for us artists was that we would hold up a mirror to society, show people what it looked like, and ask those people in different, more practical paths to go and fix it. But I think there's an opening now for everyone in this room, not just for musicians, but for artists, for writers, for journalists. Something's broken. The pipes are clogged. I think there's an opportunity for us to help unclog those pipes. So friends, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Thank you for honouring us with this award.